Friday. Oh, hey, everybody. It's Del Shores, and it's Friday. We're not live yet?
We are. Yes, I just didn't know you were going to keep going. And I'm Emerson Collins.
Okay, one more time. Take two. Bam. Hey, everybody. It's Del Shores, and it's Friday. Okay.
The lyrics go, I'm Del Shores, and I'm Emerson Collins.
Okay. Here we go.
Ready?
Uh-huh. Hey, everybody. I'm Del Shores.
And I'm Emerson Collins, and you're watching the Del and Emerson Show.
Straight talk.
Real gay. Well, take it as a sign of the show. It's kind of gonna be.
It's gonna be frayed, y'all. It's gonna be flawed. I was just trying to mix it up a little bit. I just gave you the wrong cue. I use it.
I would think, as a writer director, you would consider the importance of script changes being shared with the whole cast.
Yes. Okay. I've just got this itch. How are you,
everybody? You're in a great mood.
I am in a good mood. I am in a good mood. We should be in a good mood. How are you?
We have had a wonderful work day. So how is everybody out there? We hope you are doing well. And whether you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, say hello. Share the broadcast with your friends as we get into all the LGBTQ news and nonsense.
Send us some comments. We may put them up and, comment ourselves up on them. So,
we usually pride ourselves on being one-take wonders, but sometimes you just need some chances to get it best.
You know what, Emerson? I did this Instagram post today, and I think it's age. I've been thinking about age. Did you know what somebody had the? I sound like Latrell. Had the audacity to say to me on Instagram that I was too old to wear a tank top. They wrote privately and said I was too old to wear a tank top.
No.
Yes. And I said something about it in my ramblings on Instagram, and everybody's coming after. Oh, you're not too old. And sometimes you just need a little validation, y'all. And if you'll just tell people.
Sometimes I need a lot of validation.
And it's just like there's so many things when you get older. You wake up with this shoulder hurting, and then you look in the mirror and there's a ear hair that's going around your head and up. It's a lot.
I hear you. Well, and speaking of validation, I told y'all the other day, because I spend so much money at Into Bodywear on their products, I entered a jockstrap contest to win $100 merch credit. So I just put the link in the chat room if you want to vote for me, and I'll give you a little preview of my. What are you trying to say while I'm talking?
For you. I wanted to say, yes, it's worth hitting the link. I voted for you. I'm trying to support you. There it is.
To see the ridiculously inappropriate rest of the photo, click the link and please vote. I'm desperate. We're talking a lot about how important voting is, and this is real good practice.
It's like, okay, that's a great segue into the DNC, I guess. It's like,
no, we have one more news thing to talk about us.
We do?
Yes. What are we doing?
Shall I do it?
I think you should. It's named after you.
It was gonna be sloppy. It's gonna be messy today, y'all. Just bear with us. We will get all the information out. We started what is I think is a wonderful thing. It's called the Del Shore Studio, and it is a place where artists can come and learn and grow. And I am teaching there. I've been teaching there for quite a while. It's all virtual right now. And Matt Hayes is a part of it. Emerson Collins is a part of it. And Blake MacGyver is a part of it. And today we're going to have a launch party at 5:30. Right after this, we're hopping, y'all. We are going to just, take a swig, fix a drink, and then go right into that. So y'all join us. Even if you're not an actor or an artist, come hang out with us. Have another hour with us if you want to. It'll be fun. And we will tell you what else we do in our lives.
And I'm really genuinely excited. Del's been teaching workshops and master classes across the country as long as I have known him. And I'm really excited to be a part of it. Blake and I are going to be teaching 2 musical theater workshops together in September, and we're all available for private coaching on a lot of things. So if you want to check it out, visit thedelshorestudio.com. We're offering 50% off, half price first coaching sessions for y'all to try it out. So come join us. if you're an artist or interested, we're real excited.
You know what? Even if we're a safe place to come. Even if you're that person who was the best actor in high school, or you loved it in college, and you gave up that dream, and you would like to return to that dream, we'll just explore. We have so many people doing that, and it's fun. It's a nurturing place, and it's not a cruel place like some acting classes are, and we're not like that. So
yeah. And Blake teaches vocal lessons at all levels, if you're starting singing, if you're auditioning. So we're trying to really address the full range of artist needs. So come join us and check it out.
Yes. And speaking of theater and all the things that we love, we have very special guests with us. Somebody I love dearly, Mr. Ed Decker from the new Conservatory Theatre Company. A year ago, I was rehearsing the premiere of This Side of Crazy there. And I love this man, and they've started a new podcast, and Desiree Rogers will be joining him. Their podcast is called In Good Company. It's new episodes every Wednesday, and we're very excited to have them with us at the end of the show today.
Yes. All right. So we are ready to do the news. Y'all, what did everybody think of the last 3 nights of the DNC?
Well, may I weigh in? It's like,
well, yes, I think it'd be great if you weighed in while people wrote comments.
You can't call him Sleepy Joe after last night. I thought he did a really great job. You know what I loved about the DNC? It showed what America really looked like. I get so tired of seeing, people gathering around Trump's desk and they're just all old white men. And this showed the diversity, and it showed the compassion. I was touched so many times, that little boy that was the stutterer. And it showed Joe Biden's humanity, how he has been touching people for so many years. That story that the rabbi told about him showing up at the Shiva of that amazing woman who had given Joe Biden $18 for every campaign that he ever had. I mean, it makes me emotional to think that there is somebody that wants to be president who has a heart and a soul. And that's what I got out of more than anything. And y'all, I heard some horrifying statistics last night, and I would like to vet them. I actually would love somebody to tell me if this is true. Said that 10% of the LGBT community, only from the ages of 18 to 25, only 10% voted in the last election. So I wonder if that I heard that, and I want to know what the real number is. But no matter what it is, it wasn't as much as it should have been. We got to vote. That's what, and there are ways to register to vote right now during this broadcast. You can go and register to vote. If you're not going to vote, then why?
Erica said, loved all the representation. Vicky said, loved the DNC. Terry said, it gave me hope for the future. Ken said the chicks blew it out. The chicks blew it out of the water. Jim said, watch some of the speeches. Here was my, big takeaway. In remembering that as Democrats, trying to bring in liberals and progressives and represent so many things, they're trying to create this big tent where everyone is welcome. I actually found this virtual DNC so much more impactful than ones in the past, really being intimate and thinking about the range of people, from AOC endorsing Bernie to that cheesy, delightful panel of the 7 other candidates talking about it, seeing Bernie's enthusiasm for Biden, seeing Elizabeth Warren talk about a specific plan of Biden's that she loves with the little BLM letters in the background, Pete speaking in the place where he got engaged or where he got married, the range of who we are and the clear message of all of us being on the same page to this idea of building back better. It's simple, but it's a great counter to this idea of making America great again, which looks backward, and build back better is looking forward. And the specific honesty Joe Biden spoke with, right? About his own past, about why he cares, about why he will work with anybody to do the right thing. And then we can push him and Kamala, whose speech was so fiery and so smart and so great, and push them to do what we want after electing them.
Yes, we got to elect them. We have to. I mean, boy, are they out in in fighting for him today with new ads and going strong against. I love the roll call. I loved it, Judy. I loved the roll call too. I thought the roll call was fantastic. I thought there was some really great speeches. I thought Michelle Obama's speech was fantastic. I thought President Obama's speech was fantastic. And Jill Biden. I love Jill Biden because my mother was a teacher and my daughter is a teacher, and I feel like I'm a teacher sometimes. And I love that. She was in that classroom, and and the people that she touches and cares for, and the fact that she taught at a community college while he was, anyway.
Well, no, I know this is important. I think you're right. And I think about what they talked about, right? That our community was mentioned and represented. The three gay men, Sam Park and Kenyatta Matthews with his fiance on screen together, that when they talked about Seneca Falls and Selma and Stonewall, that they really are speaking to all of us. And I believe that these are leaders we can hold accountable and that we have to, elect them and then engage with them continuously on what we want them to do for all of us. Push them further, push them harder. But I believe that they represent what we want to be.
Do we know, by the way, what the entertainment is going to be next week? Because we got
not Jennifer Hudson and John Legend and the Chicks.
The Chicks, well, and I mean, it didn't just stop there. There was some crazy great entertainment. And then the co-host, I loved all of them, every one of them. I loved how irreverent Julia Louis-Dreyfus was last night. It wasn't like she was being politically correct on any level.
And I loved the range of who those women speak to. Ava Longoria for the Latinx community, Kerry Washington's sincerity, Tracy Ellis Ross's wink, and then Julia Louis-Dreyfus just laughing in her face. As a billionaire white woman, that's appropriate.
And Octavia Spencer with a few voiceovers every single night.
Yes.
Narrating. So it was.
Oh yes, as Ken says, Tiv Nugent and Kid Rock. That's next week.
And I think that they have. Don't they have Scott Baio as a speaker? And then now it's like all the relatives are speaking.
Yes.
Jared, Ivanka, Don Jr. I don't think they're letting Eric. I don't think they're letting him.
Our shows next week about that will be a lot less joyful than this one.
I'm going to watch though. I will.
Well, yeah.
I'm a junkie and I will watch.
You need to know what the other side is saying in order to counter it. So we'll show up, grit our teeth, and laugh on the show together next week. All right, on to the news, y'all.
Oh, yes, and there will be some log cabin Republicans at that convention next week. And this week they released a video in support of Trump, starring my favorite person in the whole wide world. And can you feel the sarcasm dripping? Richard Grenell. Trump quote tweeted the video saying, "My great honor" in the video. Grinnell says President Trump has done more to advance the rights of gays and lesbians in 3 years than Joe Biden did in 40 plus years in Washington. He lists Joe's history of things we've discussed, saying gay people can't actually get security clearance because they are a security risk, that he supported Don't Ask, Don't Tell. DOMA, cutting off funds to school that teach acceptance of homosexuality, was against marriage equality. Then he says, now we've made progress. Joe Biden has changed his mind. He points out Trump is the first president to be pro-gay marriage from the first day in office. Then he tries to tie Obama and Biden's support for the Iran nuclear deal to supporting that regime's terrible treatment of LGBT people, and acts like Trump's opposition to Iran is about us. He points out Trump spoke at the United Nations challenging 69 countries that criminalize homosexuality. He was also very upset for some reason that Biden did not congratulate him on his appointment as ambassador. Possibly, sir, it's because nobody gave a shit and nobody wanted to congratulate you because we did not think that it was worthy of congratulating. He saves the end to make his case for gay people being Republicans. He's saying there are millions of patriotic gay Americans who are sick of being told to sit down and shut up by those who want to control us. They are afraid of our voice, who want to keep equality a partisan issue. They try to bully us into silence. Yesterday's champions of diversity are today's intolerance. Gay people don't have to vote Democrat because Donald Trump is the most pro-gay president in American history. I must go to the bathroom and vomit now. I went through HRC and GLAAD, y'all, and I would look at all of the horrific things that this administration has done to us. And if you don't, go to my Twitter, because I did a thread of 53 today, 53 tweets of all the HRC showing everything in response to Richard Grinnell. And what I want to say to this motherfucker is, if you think that you practice Christianity because you say, I am a follower of Christ, I am not a Christian, but I am a better Christian than you and any of this administration.
And what's disingenuous about this video and what's dangerous is there's a number of places in the video where he only says lesbians and gays, right? Which is back to that like white cis gay privilege of like ignoring the trans community, leaving behind Black people and people of color, and only focusing on the, yes, on the technical level, supported same-sex marriage when he got into office, but really he was against it. And then when they asked about the court case, he said, well, it's sort of done, and so whatever, not a ringing endorsement. And it's disingenuous at certain points to look back and say in 73, Joe Biden said gay people shouldn't have security clearances. Sure, but look at what he has done since then. You know, the vast majority of people were against it at that point. And certainly Trump was. And looking at, like you just said, what this administration has done and continues to do. We have more stories about it today against our community makes your attempt to pull the wool over people's eyes bullshit. And if you want to be a log cabin Republican, hold the Republican Party accountable. Stop trying to convince us why it's okay for you to be one.
That's what I said to the other day. Somebody on Instagram, and actually I had a pretty good engagement with this person because he said, "I am not going to support. You know, I'm a right homosexual, and I support Trump, and I love Trump, blah blah blah." And he goes, "And I do not support a party that embraces 9-month abortions." And I just went to the whole history of that bullshit. And I sent him the link and I said, before you comment, let's make a deal. Before you write lies on my page, would you please do your research? And I promise I will not go to your page and write any lies. I am so sick of that, where they're just like, they pull something way back. People evolve. You and I have evolved. People that are listening to this, we have all evolved. Some of us, it took a long time to even come out. I was 35. We evolved. But what are you doing now, log cabin Republicans? What are you doing to change the horrific, nasty rhetoric in all the platforms, many of the platforms that's still there? Log cabin Republicans of Texas, when have you gotten a booth at their convention? Never, because you were the red-headed stepchild. Nothing against redheads. And
because actions demonstrate change, right? So you can counter those older comments from Biden with his actual actions in the last years. And so that answers it. And Erica said, I think he needs a PS letter.
Yeah, PS, fuck you.
There it is. And directly related, right, to what the Trump administration is doing. We've talked about the Department of Health and Human Services rule that was supposed to go into effect this week to undo the Obama administration expansive definition of sex discrimination applied to the healthcare law. Well, on Monday, fortunately, a federal judge issued an injunction preventing the Trump administration from enforcing it while the lawsuits on it are heard, because their definition is at odds with the recent Supreme Court decision, the Bostock decision on employment discrimination. Man, we've talked about how important that decision was and how much more it affects specifically for trans people. The decision is in a suit filed by two trans women, Tanya Esponza Johnson-Walker and Cecilia Gentili. Both women have legal standing to sue and are likely to succeed on the merits of the case, the judge said. So delayed it going to effect, but this is a direct example of this administration fighting against our community. So
there you go. Okay, deep breath. Boy, my blood pressure. I think my blood pressure just went up with this log cabin Republicans.
As our friend Danielle says, in 2012, Biden called discrimination against the trans community the civil rights issue of our time. That is someone showing up and doing the work to be an ally.
Yeah, and yes, he admits, as does Hillary, as does Obama. I was on a different page at one time, but I have evolved and I see now. Anyway, all right, we got another Anti-masker. This is not a Karen. Is it Carl? Is that what they call the boys that are like the Karens?
Kevin?
Is it
Chad?
Kevin?
I don't know.
Anyway, so 52-year-old. This is really an interesting story because it's a gay guy. It just shows that they're horrible gay people too. 52-year-old Timothy Gaskin is a gay man who once co-hosted a cable access show and then an LGBTQ focused weekly talk show called Outspoken, O-U-T, Spoken. This week he had a meltdown. Y'all probably saw it. It was in Marshall's, and he was asked to wear a mask by a store employee. He goes on a smugly aggressive rant while holding a McDonald's cup saying, you dumb fucking faggot, what's your problem? What's your dumb fucking faggot problem? You don't know the law. That's how stupid you are. He actually did it very calmly too. He goes, it'll cost you $75,000. It's a health code violation to deny service based on someone's disability. He looked very healthy, by the way. Do you want to be to look up that law? Do you want to look up that law first? And this faggot right here, he's pointing to the person who's videotaping him. He doesn't know the law. He thinks he's smart. He tells them to read Governor Gavin Newsom's mask mandate and then he finishes with, if you kick me out, it's $75,000. Call the police. I'm going to love this. It's a $75,000 fine. And then he goes to the guy, dumb Mexican doesn't know. So he wasn't just a gay-hating gay using horrible, horrible words, but then he went racist. Gets very weird after that. A second video shows him a little later. He went, and if you want to see what he starts to do for the benefit of the camera, watch this, okay? So, where is he?
Hold on.
Where is Timothy?
Hold on. I didn't do it right. Just 1 second. I want y'all to be able to hear it. Because this is just odd.
We don't have an engineer here. It's just us. And when I say us, I mean it's Emerson. It's just Emerson.
Because this just goes weird. Okay, watch this last piece.
How dumb are you? What's your name, boss? What's your name? Yeah, that's what. Go ahead, do that. What's your name, boss?
Like, what was he thinking? Like, oh, I see you on camera and I want to show off.
Like, what did he think? Like this was,
that went awry.
Video chat on Scruff or something? I don't know.
It was just a very, very strange. It was like, oh, I see you're videoing me and this weird smug, and it is. It's so frustrating to watch a gay man be smug about not being considerate of the general welfare. We continue to talk about it because it really matters how there's certain white gay men who think, man, I get to do what I want, wherever I want, related to privilege in our culture. And it's the calm smugness, that was so riling for me about it.
I wanted to, the kid tweeted about it that actually was the store employee at Marshall's, and I wanted to see if he would come on the show and talk to us about it because I think it would be so interesting to get a little follow-up. I wonder what happened.
Like where? Like, did he leave? What was the?
Did he leave? Did he? Did he get his? Underwear for half price? I don't know.
Good for them for holding him accountable.
Because Marshall's had some good sales on underwear. I know that.
Oh well, there you go. I'm not buying underwear at Marshall's. A quick update. We told you last week about Florida politician Shevrin Jones, who was targeted with the homophobic robo-text after he was turned away from a blood donation center. Well, he won the Democratic primary on Tuesday night by more than 27 points. His district is heavily Democratic, so he will likely be the first out-state senator in Florida. So yay!
Yay!
Bigotry did not affect his chances. And then just a fun one, because I know we hadn't been doing a lot of sports ball, because also there's not a lot of sports ball happening. And also I don't really care about it that much. But I did find a very stimulating video that here is just a moment of you all to enjoy. LA Dodger Clayton Kershaw. He's on the sidelines in a game against the Mariners, getting ready to play and, just needed to take care of some things. And he didn't know he was on camera, and so we all got this moment we can enjoy together.
I like that he has his shirt undone like that.
Oh, find it.
Yeah. And right in front of these people. Like,
just right in front of his friends. I just feel like they have a very good friendship. You know, you're real close. That's just what I call a is it there check. Is it there?
Yeah.
Is it still there?
I was hiking today, and there was a guy that didn't realize that as I was coming up on him, and he was just really like, I think he had a bad itch or something. And he had his hand down and just going at it. And then he saw me see him, and he goes, "Oh, hey, man." And we both had masks on, but I just loved it. I said,
his eyebrows went up, so you could.
I wanted to say, "You okay?"
Was it one of these?
They have products for that. There's a CVC right down the street, right, just 2 blocks down. Okay, and more.
Sometimes you just got to wait. I get to go too. You told your. But sometimes you just got to get in there. You know, it's just quick check. Is it there? Make sure it's okay. But if you're doing it a lot, it means you're not wearing high quality enough underwear, and they don't hold your package where it's supposed to be.
I bought a plant the other day. One last one. Do we have? Are we over? Are we good? Okay.
I love that you're ready to go on. I tell one more, and then you got one more.
Okay, never mind.
No, tell it.
No, it was just. I love my new plant over there, but the guy who sold it to me, I couldn't help but when he was holding the plant, he had no underwear on, and he was really packing. And so then on Instagram, he said he was showing he's aware of it. He is so aware of it. He's holding a plant right above his dick. And he says, "Look at this." And it says, "Look at this monster."
He knows
about the plant. Yes.
And we're grateful.
And
hey,
so
gray sweatpants.
I saw that monster. I saw that monster.
Gray sweatpants were invented for a reason.
That's
all
right. In more dick news, there's a strange. This is we just like all dick stories right in a row. There's a strange group of gun enthusiasts who mock expressions on praise for basic gun safety by posting pictures of themselves pointing guns at their dicks, because that will change everybody's opinion about guns. In a Facebook group devoted to this called Loaded Guns Pointed at Venus, that's misspelled on purpose so they can get away with it on Facebook, a San Diego man shared his story. He posted a video of himself pointing his .45 caliber M1911 semi-automatic at his groin, and it goes off, and he shot himself in the balls. He then posted a picture of his naked legs and splattered blood all over the carpet floor, which I am just shocked that he was able to take a picture after the incident. A towel is stuffed between his legs, and printed out copy of the Constitution is crumpled on the edge of the photo. His caption said, "Hey boys," spelled B-O-I-S. I like B-O-Y-Z. I might have fucked up. The guy.
A little bit.
What's that?
A little bit.
The guy posted through the incident as he bled. He kept posting, later writing, "God's caliber .45 went through my scrotum, mattress, box spring, and floor." He later posted a picture of himself in the hospital, pointing his finger towards his crotch like a gun, saying, "Turns out it wasn't a graze. That round went right the fuck through me. What I thought were 2 graze wounds turned out to be an entrance and an exit wound." An admin for Loaded Guns Pointed at Venus says the man is doing 100% okay, because we need to know. And he is already ready to return to work. So I don't want y'all to put him on a prayer list. He's fine. Adding that he doesn't think he needs to be chastised for shooting his own balls in the name of Trump. So
I love this so much.
Thank you for giving me that story, Emerson. Thank you.
You're welcome. I love, first of all, they would mock people talking about basic gun safety, right? Every day there's a story of some toddler or child getting a hold of a gun that wasn't stored correctly. And their way to make fun of it is to hold it at their dicks. Like that somehow says we shouldn't have gun safety measures and good gun control in our country. And that in doing that, to mock people who care, this man shot through his scrotum brings me such joy.
It was so stupid that he felt the need to continue to post about it. Rather than saying, I'm a dumb motherfucker, he continued to post about it.
Oh, no, I get that. Once you're getting attention, honey, post through it. Post through it. You got 2 holes in your balls, man, at least get some good mileage. If I shot myself in the balls, you better believe I would be post. I'm kidding, I wouldn't. I wouldn't tell anyone ever. You know, I'm willing to post looking silly. I'm not willing to post looking the least intelligent being in our country.
No, ma'am.
I just love it. It's a special kind of thoughtless and careless. Anyway, if y'all are enjoying our show and the nonsense of our slightly looser show today, before we get to our special guests, we do work hard at finding stories to make you think and keep you entertained and keep a good balance. So if you want to throw $1 or $5 or 30 or thousands at us because you're just sitting on enough money to contribute to all the causes and Joe Biden and the difficult Senate races and us, you can send us a tip on Venmo at Emerson Collins or in PayPal to beardcollinshoresproductions@gmail.com. It's in the ticker at the bottom, and we appreciate it.
This is when our guests are sitting backstage and go, was this the right thing to do?
Fortunately, they haven't arrived, so, you know, they won't know.
They
went off on the gun shooting scrotum stories and what.
Apologies.
But yes, we're grateful to those of you who contribute weekly or occasionally. And if you can't and you just show up and laugh and comment and share the broadcast, we love that just as much. Because we vary the tone, and this next story is really important and very serious. This week, 3 trans women, Eden the Doll, Jaslyn White Rose, and Jocelyn Flawless, experienced a prolonged and vicious assault in Hollywood, not far from where I live. And police are treating it as a hate crime. But in the course of a very long series of videos, you can see them, the full story, if you go to Eden the Doll's Instagram page. She has it saved. The first suspect approached and offered to buy merchandise from them and then refused to pay. He came back with a metal bar, demanded the shoes and bracelet from one of them. She gave them to him, and later he assaulted one of her friends with a bottle, knocking her to the ground. They made transphobic comments throughout the assault. And according to Eden, it started when one of the men stole her phone while they were waiting for an Uber. You can see in the video so much because there were so many onlookers who provided no assistance. One was screaming various stages of the assaults, and you can see her attempt to get their belongings back and her phone. One of them gets hit so hard, she's knocked out and laying in the street, and people pass offering no assistance. There's a group watching and laughing the whole time. A man throws a bird kind of scooter at them. And then you see one man say he will give Eden back her phone for $80. It is so long, this assault, y'all. Now, fortunately, Eden ran a campaign. People worked hard spreading the videos and the word, and police have arrested 29-year-old Carlton Calloway as the primary instigator of the assaults at the beginning on robbery and assault charges. He bragged openly about carrying out the violence on his social media. A man named Winnie Walker was identified from this footage and the campaign. He's been arrested on extortion charges, I believe, related to the phone. And another 22-year-old David Williams is still wanted for assault. But y'all, it is hard to watch. These women struggle for long series of minutes in the streets in Hollywood with this laughter, this horrifying mocking of what's happening to them happening in the background.
I just don't understand it. It's just very difficult and painful to watch. And I was like, where was somebody like, I mean, I have to say I would have done something. I feel like I would have figured something out to do. And I'm sure people were calling 911 surely during this time. But the fact that people were there just laughing, I just don't get it. And the
laughter and mocking is as horrible as the people taking the phone and doing the assault. You know, being a bystander, laughing at someone else's pain, this experience that is so common for trans women of color. And we do have to put ourselves in these situations and be honest and be accountable of being willing to risk our safety to engage on behalf of something that is happening to someone else. And I'm a little man. There's a lot of times in my life where I probably would have been like, "Ooh, I can call, do this thing from over here." but being willing to be in danger on behalf of another human being is something I'm trying to challenge myself to do, to not just, walk on and call from somewhere else, to interrupt, to engage, to be honest, that I would be afraid and want a woman passed out in the street, do something and say something.
And I know that, it's scary. It's scary because you see somebody that is that brazen and that's violent, but the fact that the scooter or whatever that, that bird thing, it was thrown at the wrong person. I mean, that's what, anyway, that's so sad. So I'm glad they caught him, and I hope they catch the other guy.
Yeah, and if you want more info or to support those three women, Eden the Doll on Instagram. She has a big social media following, and she's got a lot of information there about what's happening with them.
All right. And okay, in some news that just made me so giddy.
I knew you'd enjoy this one.
Well, I watched it, and I just, thank you again for throwing me this story, because I loved watching Anderson Cooper the other day just eviscerate someone with his facts and his derision. And this week, he let Mike Lindell, the Trump sycophant, creator of MyPillow, have it. Mike Lindell has been peddling a plant extract as a miracle coronavirus cure. It's of oleandrin. I don't know how to.
Oleandrin, like oleander.
Like oleander, but oleandrin drug made from the extract of the plant Nerium oleander. Convenient Lindell is now on the board of the drug's manufacturer. And in the interview, Lindell says that 1,000 people have used it safely. And when Anderson repeatedly asked him for peer-reviewed studies or tests Lindell claims to have seen, Lindell says he gave it all to Ben Carson, the holder. He's the holder. Cooper points out Carson has been accused of hawking supplements himself. And after repeated attempts to get any solid information, Cooper says, you have no medical background. You are not a scientist. A guy called you in April, said he had this product. You are now on the board, and you're going to make money from the sale of this product. You really are a snake oil salesman. I mean, you could be in the Old West standing on a box telling people to drink your amazing elixir that there's no proof of. How do you sleep at night? Lindell then said that he has been praying for a cure to the virus and added, I do what Jesus has to do. I do what Jesus has to do. And Cooper snapped back and he said, you think Jesus wants you out there promoting remedies that have never been tested? Bam. So yay, Anderson Cooper, great clap back. And
I love it so much. It always makes my heart so happy because Anderson is so centered and so focused on the facts. And you could tell he brought this guy on just to eviscerate him. Like, there was no question that Mike Lindell was going to say anything good about this snake oil bullshit he's trying to peddle to panicked people in the pandemic. That was a mouthful to say.
And I wanted to
the pandemic. That was real good. I hope our actors waiting in the wings appreciated the articulation there. But seriously, that he came and he knew he was going to say, I gave it to Ben Carson. And he was ready with, yeah, Ben Carson hawked bullshit supplements before. And your pillows, you've lied to your audiences. You were taken to court for false claims about the healing powers of your pillow. Like, he was just ready to systematically pull him apart. And I loved it.
And he was stupid to come on this show. My friend Will sent me a note right before the show, ironically, and he said, MyPillow or concrete floor? And I said, jail cell naked on a coal slab. That was my response.
Well, and to take it back to the convention, right? Because this really matters. It's not just about making Mike Lindell at MyPillow look stupid. Some of the most painful parts of this convention was the woman who talked about her father dying of COVID because she listened to Trump. If this administration says that this new oleandrin will cure people and people take it and go out into the world thinking that they are protected from this pandemic, it's not partisan at that point. It's about a betrayal of leadership. So like Anderson's clapback isn't just for like feeling good of Democrats have taken down this MAGA Trump supporter. It's because when the administration says stuff, people believe it because they expect their government to tell them the truth. That's why it matters to tear him apart, not just because I like sassy Anderson.
Yes, well, he was sassy, and he's not sassy enough for me anymore. He used to be a little sassier. We used to get it a little more often, but he's calmed down a little bit.
He gives us just once in a while. And in very, very sad news, we talked on Tuesday about Chi Chi DeVane, a beloved Louisiana drag queen who's been in and out of the hospital. And it was announced yesterday, Trinity K. Bonet announced on her Instagram, I believe is the first person, that unfortunately Chi Chi DeVane succumbed to her illness in the hospital and has passed away. So to all of her fans, I was certainly one of the joy and spirit that she brought to her work, to her performance, to representing Louisiana. What a loss it is to the community, and sending genuine love and support to her friends and family and fans and the Queens.
Absolutely, yes.
So much love, a bright light lost for all.
I had so much hope after our show. I was hoping that she would make a turnaround, and it made me very sad. So
rest in power, Queen.
Yes. Okay, in lighter news, Cher is very upset over the post office, and she's so troubled that Trump has withheld funding to the U.S. Postal Service in order to stop universal mail-in voting. She asked on Twitter if people, I love that she does all caps on Twitter too, it's just all caps.
Yeah.
People can volunteer at the post office. Then she followed up saying, no, I'm not kidding, but all in caps. Could I volunteer at the post office? Then frustrated, she said, is no one going to give me help with the post office? She finally reported back saying, okay, I called 2 post offices in Malibu. They were polite. I said, hi, this is Cher, and I'd like to know if you ever take volunteers. The lady at the post office didn't know and gave me the number to her supervisor. I called and I said, hi, this is Cher. Can you imagine?
Hi, this is Cher.
Do you accept volunteers? No need fingerprints and background check, they told her. So I'm sure that Cher is now figuring out how to get a background check and some fingerprints, because she is going down to that Malibu post office. And y'all, I am getting in my Corolla hybrid. I am driving to the Malibu post office the moment I find out Cher is volunteering.
Can you imagine? Like, I look terrible because my post office is 2 blocks away. I can walk. So it's always in like pajamas, rolling up to your post office, and the postal worker is Cher.
Would
you like to buy some forever stamps? You know,
or is she behind the scenes just sorting? Just sorting.
Oh no, you got to put Cher out front. She's got to be.
Oh my God!
Also, can you imagine being the postal worker that got the call? Hello, this is Cher. No last name.
Do you think that they believed it? I
like that's one of those where you have to say it several times.
Oh my God! I'm so sorry. This story makes me so giddy.
I just love it. And her frustration on Twitter is, no one going to help me with the post office? You know, like, hey guys, figure this out for me. All right, and then one more quick little thing, a protest that I love before we get to our very special guests. In Russia, Alexander Donsky is a Russian former mayor turned performance artist, and he put on a big protest art show over the Kremlin in Moscow. As protest, he attached dozens of rainbow balloons filled with helium to a giant rainbow flag and released it. He came out as gay to a journalist in October 2017 and said he took this action in response to President Putin criticizing foreign embassies hanging rainbow flags outside their buildings. He called the demonstration LGBT over the Kremlin. Earlier this month, we talked about the U.S. Embassy putting up a pride flag during Pride Month related to their ongoing systemic campaign against any form of LGBT celebration being propaganda. So real quickly, here's the video. I mean, it's a massive display. These balloons on this flag just floating over the Kremlin. You know, simple, effective piece of protest in a place where all kinds of demonstration are dangerous. So bravo to this former mayor and for the work he is doing.
Yeah, in the words of John Lewis, that's good trouble. That's some
absolutely good it is.
I hope.
All right. Well, they've been waiting patiently in the wings, and we are super excited to join them. The new Conservatory Theatre Center in San Francisco is dear to our hearts. Dell's directed there. I was like, oh, I can share that with you. They were huge supporters of the Sorted live stream benefit. Their artistic director, Ed Decker, was one of the inspirations for that. And they are doing a really cool new form of theater, being creative artists. Since they can't welcome people into their space, they have a new podcast that launches next Wednesday on August the 26th called In Good Company. And we are so excited to bring to the show to talk to us about it, artistic director Ed Decker and actress Desiree Rogers. Welcome.
Hello. Thanks for having us.
Oh, this is like a homecoming for me for a second. And Desiree, it's so good to meet you. I love that man so much right there. So thanks for coming on the show, and congratulations on this. I just think it's wonderful. I can't wait.
Thank you. But, before we go there, I want to be sure to say, thank you again to you two, your viewers, and all of the cast of the Sorted Lives Telethon that we did back in May, and all of the folks that contributed. I mean, these two guys and that whole group of people, they raised like $75,000, almost $100,000 for 23 theaters across this country. And I just wanted to make sure to shout out that achievement, because we are forever grateful for you.
And you got another check coming your way. As soon as we get paid from the charity buzz and all that, we're going to send everybody a little more than 1,000 each. So it was our pleasure. And Ed, I'm so grateful to you and all the theaters that have produced my work. I wouldn't have a career without you. I was there a year ago today, directing this side of crazy.
That's true. It has been a year, hasn't it? Yes. Well, thank you again. We're very, very grateful.
So Desiree, tell us a little bit about this and how it came about, and I just love it.
Well, I'll leave Ed to tell you how it came about, because that's all Ed. But it was a fantastic experience.
Hey, Desiree.
Can you hear me?
Lean in real close. We can hear you, but it's a little quiet.
Is that much better? Okay.
Actually, the Academy Awards, and you're saying thank you so much.
Yes, I'm pretty very close.
Yeah.
I've been practicing this. I don't know why I can't get this.
Oh,
here we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. Well, first, Del, I actually met you at NCTC when you came to see Late Company. So I met you then.
Yes.
Yes.
And
And I got
together full circle.
Yeah. I am super grateful that I got an opportunity to be a part of this project, because this is very different than anything that I've had the opportunity to do, and very different than what NCTC's been doing. And I'll just leave it to Ed for now, and then I'll come back.
Yeah, but I just want to say you're such a fantastic actress. That was such a wonderful night of theater for me. With Cheryl and you, and it was great.
Thank you.
Yes. Ed, explain the concept here, because it's so exciting and unique.
Well, it's a little bit crazy. Back in April, about a month after we got shut down, I'm sure you can all remember how fluid and changing everything was. Every day there was new news and new information, and being a theater person, I always try to respond to things by actually creating theater, trying to make something happen and speak through the art if it's at all possible. And I was feeling rather helpless and hopeless. And then I just got this crazy idea of, what if we made a soap opera, an episodic soap opera about a little theater in San Francisco that gets shut down by COVID-19. And that's sort of how the idea was born. And like Desiree, I have never produced a radio series podcast before. I'm not as experienced as the two of you in all of this technology stuff. So I reached out to 5 writers that I know, and within a couple weeks, we were in the writers' room, and this thing just started to evolve, and we created this 10-episode podcast called In Good Company that will air in 15-minute episodes over a 10-week period. And then I was able to go to some 7 great actors and invite them to join the party. So then we went into the rehearsal room for a couple of weeks. And the thing just sort of kept steamrolling, from there. And all of a sudden we found ourselves doing something more than a soap opera, right, Desiree? That we were we created these fictitious characters that were part of a theater that were responding to a moment in time while it was happening. Yeah. And trying to make art from within that space was a really, really unique event, because I know a lot of times when we make theater, we look back on things, right? And we tell the story and bring the story forward again.
Yeah, and so Desiree, you play Lola, the artistic director.
I do, yes.
What was this like, though, being an actor who can't work, right?
Yeah.
Doing a piece talking about artists who can't create. What did you find in this?
Well, I found that I felt connected to everything that was going on. Having the helm of a situation like that and being responsible for so many artists around you and the quality of work that they get to do, and having to make choices about who can stay and who has to go. I have never been in that situation before, so that was a leap for me as an artist. But I have a lot of people to draw from who are in that situation, so I was able to have compassion, empathy, and be open to that struggle. And so that informed what I was doing in the broadcast. And for me, it felt great to be working, because I'm working with all these fantastic artists and working with this company that I love so much and I've been working with for years. So it just felt good to be working, to be productive, and you mentioned something about John Lewis's and Good Trouble. With the kind of work we're doing here, it feels like Good Trouble. It feels like acting in the moment to do something to make the world a better place and help other people to embrace the moment in a deeper way and to be with other people that are going through the same things they are. And so that felt like I was doing something active.
So. Yeah, well, I love that. That's what when we did the sort of live stream, it was to say it's like you're so depressed, you're so isolated, and your creativity has just been smashed and shattered, and then all of a sudden you go, oh, I can do this at least for a few weeks.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Well, and Ed, I would think, being an artistic director, watching the actor playing the artistic director, I would think you would have the best notes on her work.
Well, I thought that was really great casting. I thought, you playing Ed, that's diversity casting.
It was good. It was good.
Well, first of all, she's not playing me. She's an artistic director all unto her own.
Of course.
And actually, I think maybe it was more enlightening for me to see Desiree interpreting the role and taking the reins and navigating and dealing with the situation and trying to sort of make sense of the real life parallels and where fact and fiction were colliding in this story, because these are not people from New Conservatory Theatre Center. This is a whole other crew that we made up. But the situation that they're dealing with is similar to what all theaters across the country are faced with.
I love someone in the chat room, Jigs, who is actually one of a really wonderful writer himself. He says this feels like the original Tales of the City columns, and which originated right there in the San Francisco Chronicle.
Well, Armstead was one of the inspirations for this idea.
Well, of course, as a looming giant of your community.
Yeah. So to be able to serialize the story and then also change with it as we were doing it, right, Desiree? Things were happening in the world, and we were trying to respond to them as quickly as we possibly could by incorporating them into the storyline. And I think there was lots of twists and turns along the way, and that 7 actors, Desiree, I'm sure you will agree, they brought a lot to the conversation when we were tweaking the script and putting it all together. But it was fast, Del. I've never done anything this fast.
Yeah, well, daytime too. And do you see the possibility of continuing after these 10 episodes, if it catches on? Can we?
It would be really cool if it catches on, but I think I'm just doing one day at a time. I don't know about you.
You need a week of vacation.
I can commit in like periods of time right now, right? Like that's all my emotional energy can handle. But it's so inspiring to see you doing something new for your institution, bringing in artists and giving them opportunity. I do hope, even as you get back into theater, what an exciting thing. I hope all of our listeners will show up and listen, because what a great thing to add, maybe they're not often, but once a year, here's the NCTC new serial podcast for this year. What an exciting idea you found in this difficult time to connect with your audience. It's really amazing.
Well, thank you. And I go, Odell, you wanted to say
I
something?
just wanted to ask you, because, I always get to the money and how we can support you. Is there a charge for it, or is it donation only? How do they monetize this for you, Ed?
You're always thinking, Mr. Shores. It's a donation-based pod. It's free. It's going to be across a wide variety of platforms: iTunes, Google Play,
Spotify,
Apple. Yeah. So, and at the end of the episode, we invite people to help us keep art alive by making a donation. So, we'll see if some things come in from there. But, theaters across the country are having to reinvent themselves in order to, navigate going forward and stay engaged and stay part of the leadership in the conversation around the things that are going on in the world. And we're doing a lot of that too. All of our classes are online. I know Dell and Emerson, you do all that now on, online as well. And we've taken some of our commissions and adapted them into the next thing up is a radio play of a full length play that we're doing. We're going to do a musical extravaganza for the holidays, so we're really staying busy with commissioning new works and trying to create new things in this digital platform, with the knowledge that these are things that expand our reach, the LGBTQ plus reach. And we discovered that although this has been very challenging, we have the opportunity to tell our stories further and wider and help more of our community by having that, reach and opportunity.
Well, you have an amazing, not only amazing actors up there, Desiree being one of them. I've seen such good work at your theater, but we all miss it. We miss that collaboration with your lighting designer and the costumes and everything coming together. So I'm so glad that you have to think outside the box, and you are doing it. So we are celebrating with you, and we will continue to share on our sites to get people to come in. And your website, Ed, so that people can donate is?
It's nctcsf.org. But if you just Google New Conservatory Theatre Center, you'll find us right away. And the first 2 episodes of the podcast series drops next Wednesday, the 26th of August. So we're very excited.
When live goes off script. Yeah, it's a great. That's a great little catchphrase for you.
Oh, thanks to our marketing team for that.
Yeah. Oh, you've got a great marketing team. They are in it. They are in it to win.
They are. We love them. We love that.
Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us today. It is inspiring to see artists finding new and interesting ways. Desiree, thank you for bringing your talents. Ed, thank you for the spirit you bring your community together with. And I will definitely be downloading next Wednesday to hear.
Yes.
You can subscribe ahet of time. Just subscribe on iTunes and Spotify, and they'll let you know when we're on.
Well, we will do it, and do it right on your smartphone. You can go to those podcasts. Thank you so much. It's so good to see you, Ed. I love you so much. Desiree, thank you.
Love you too, Emerson.
Thank you so much for having us. This is so wonderful, and you do such great work. So thank you so much for having us here.
Thank y'all. Bye.
Bye.
They are a delight. And it really is exciting. I meant that. Like, it's so smart. That's so interesting, making a radio play about a theater, 15-minute bits. So y'all make sure you check that out.
So, all right. Well, y'all, Leanne Noble says, what a great show therapy session. She always calls this a therapy session. We try to just help the masses. Leanne, just try.
It makes us feel good. We hope it makes y'all feel good. We like sharing stories and focusing on our community, both the good, the bad, and the hilarious, as we all learn and grow together to do our part. And if you want a tip, a special thank you to Allison Busby, and to Bob Billenberg and Victor Roberts for your contributions today. That is on Venmo, to at Emerson Collins, and on PayPal to beardcollinshoresproductions@gmail.com. We know some of y'all wait till the end of the show so you don't miss a moment.
And if you have nothing else to do, grab a cocktail between 5 and 5:30 and meet us at thedelshawstudio.com for a little launch party with us. I'm going to go make myself a drink, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We'll see you on